I think the reason we're still painting like that is Games Workshop still lead us in a direction that was set down years and years and years ago by iconic and brilliant artwork that I still love, like this. However, artwork from around the same time by Mark Gibbons depicts what I think of when I think of Blood Angels. So I know there's not colour on there, but if it did have colour, I would hazard a guess that it would look a little bit like one of my favourite pieces of artwork in recent times from Games Workshop, a piece that lives rent-free in my head constantly, this. I love this so much, I've already done a metallic version of it on the channel before. It's my absolute favourite, and I'm going to show you how to achieve highlights that fit with this type of Blood Angel, which I think is slightly more appropriate when they're described as armoured space warriors, so fueled by a uncontrollable rage that in the heat of battle they might end up lapsing into bouts of cannibalism. All right, that's not happy, it's not cheery, it's just bloody and uncontrollable. So what we're going to do is we're going to do bloody and uncontrollable highlights. So you won't need steady hands for this, you won't need many colours at all, you'll need a white and you'll need a red, and you can do it whether you're stippling or dry brushing or layering or even airbrushing. Brilliant news, all right? So we're just going to concentrate on the highlights for this so you can apply it to your own army at home, whatever red you may be using for that already. Maybe you want to try this out on a leader or something. If you have any suggestions of your own for a future video like this or something around the Armageddon release, or indeed if you'd like to see the full version of this guy, including a horrible mishap I had with contrast medium. I still don't know what happened, but I nearly gave up. I can show you that. I will see you in the outro. Let's jump in to me in the middle of describing colours that we're using and how we're going to get to the highlights. Now, to achieve what we want to get for our highlights without going towards orange or peach or anything like that, there's something very important that we have to do. And that is that we have to put down white. It could be a very, very, very light pink, but we'll use white in this example. And then all that we can do to make the most of that is we can use another red, but we're going to lower the opacity. We're going to use a glaze. So I literally take, the color of elsewhere, which is what we'll be doing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay it over the top. You could say that we are taking this red too. We're going to lay it over the top, and that is going to allow the white underneath to punch through the red, and that will give us our highlights that look brighter and redder. They're going to be pink, but they'll look brighter and redder without pushing towards orange, and that's the important thing. Okay, if that was useful, let's put it into practice. So whatever your white on your desk is that you don't reach for when you want crazy coverage, that's the one you need. Now I'm going to be using the extra small plus, and what we want is, it's quite a hot day in the UK, the ability to put down some little dots, and it's going to take some experimentation and just general play with your brush until you get it where they will leave. Hopefully you have something that looks like this. If at any point things have gone wrong and they look like that, just don't worry about it. It's probably going to be fine. If you want to exaggerate anything you've done, just take exactly the same white and a very small brush. What you're going to need to do, I'm too scared to do it on his knee, his knee's important, do it on his toe, is you need to push your strokes towards the point where you want the most deposited. So you can make a little dot, let it dry 100%. We could do it on this knee actually, I guess. And you want to just end your strokes where you would like the most to be. That's it. Maybe I'm brave enough to do this, and now I'm in tune with the brush a bit. Push, lift off. Push, lift off. Push, lift off. Push, lift off. Okay, so You can exaggerate it like that. You could absolutely edge highlight at this stage as well if you wanted. You can attempt to fix things if they've gone wrong. But just remember, it's all right for it to look a bit scratchy, and actually it looking a bit scratchy is kind of what we're relying on and going to be working with. We're not going for Golden Demon winning work here. I probably should swap to not an Ancient 3, but sorry, 000, 30. But yeah, if you want to put your edges down at this stage, you can. You could do that as dilute or as strong as you want. I'd personally recommend a bit more dilute or way less on the brush. See, I'm getting rid of all of that. Still, you know, it's not some super strong white, but it's strong in comparison to red. It's a much higher value. What we've got here is within the noise of what we've put down, we have a relatively safe space to put some edges, even if they're not perfect. Completely fine. Something going to be really obvious. And something going to be a bit harder to hit. And what's next? I'm going to be using cherry, but if you wanted to go up to something warmer here, you absolutely could. You can mix in a bit of orange, or you could use something like, we've got chili, you could use Evil Suns. And then we're just gonna, we've already done glazing, we're gonna do more glazing. And you want to cover over anything that is white. Take a few passes, do not rush, do not race, and don't do too many passes and obscure it. If you do though, you can just do what we've done again, so it's not the end of the world. Don't forget your edges, it'll look very strange if you've got literal white lips to what you've got. Already see the potential on this knee. Can also fix anywhere that you kind of made too dark with your black blue step. Pretty hard for this to go wrong, really. I mean, don't take that as a challenge, but it should be. Good example of a shadowed area that needed fixing here. It was just, I've made too much of that black blue rather, so first pass done, second pass done, good. The joy of this is if it goes somewhere where it shouldn't be, because it's not opaque, it'll only make a fraction of a mistake instead of a full mistake, an integer of a mistake. Fraction mistakes are better. That's it. So I'm just going to scoot around now, make sure anywhere that needs a second or third quick pass has had it, and the red armor will look pretty cool. All right, so to finish up, there's a couple of things I want to touch on. I used our color Midnight from the mini color range in the shadows, and I also surrounded him. I just made choices to copy what I saw from this artwork, basically. So I mixed an aqua with black, and I used that as the base of his robes, and then went up through gray, and all the surrounding areas of the piece are really, really important. So the fact that the shadows and the panel lines were blue rather than brown makes a big difference on this piece. Not giving him a warm, like chestnutty brown cloak, that made a big difference too. So think of the surrounding areas in the other colors and notes that you want to hit on your piece, and they will add to the feeling that you've set with your red armor. Notice that I've already started doing a kind of, I don't know if it's a power sword or meant to be a crystal sword or something like that, but I've picked a color that was present on this one too. So if you're copying an artwork, you can copy as many aspects of it as possible, and hopefully that will let you get closer to your inspiration rather than just pulling the red armor out, because this red armor would not look the same if it wasn't surrounded by all of that kind of like blue tealy gray, which looks amazing. Hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. Give us your suggestions down below and let us know what you'd like to see next for upcoming Armageddon content.